Well, hello. My name is Edgar Bullington. I'm a children's librarian at Grandview Branch Library. The children there call me Mr. B. And this is TreeHouse Tales, a very special place where we share some very special stories. And I always bring stories I like to read. So I'd like to share some with you right now. And I thought we'd start with Mr. Catapat's Incredible Adventures. And I'm starting with him because he sort of says and does what I feel about books, and that they are adventures. Mr. Catapat's Incredible Adventures was written by Barreau. He only uses his last name. He doesn't use a first name when he writes his books. And he also drew these wonderful pictures. This is our hero, Mr. Catapat. He may look like an ordinary man, but he really is a great adventurer. Every day, Mr. Catapat heads to the library. That's right, the library. It's where all the excitement begins. Now you know Mr. Catapat's secret. Books are his passport to adventure. Now, which book will he choose today? Some days, he's a fortune hunter, exploring the jungle in search of an ancient pygmy people. Other days, he travels back in time to meet the giants of history. There he is meeting Mr. Lincoln. Nice thinking cap, Mr. Lincoln. And sometimes he's Sheriff Catapat, bringing justice to the Wild West. Hold your horses! Now what's that on the horizon? Avast ye hearties! Pirates have boarded Captain Catapat's ship. Can he fight them off, or will he walk the plank? If only his real life was as exciting. But real life can't compare to the time he faced the greatest kung fu master in all of China. When he's Sir Catapat, slaying dragons, rescuing princesses, it's all in a day's work. No mystery is too great for Detective Catapat. Aha, the missing clue. Another case closed. Mornings at the South Pole with the penguins. Afternoons exploring the Great Pyramids. Mr. Catapat never knows when adventure will strike next. What's this? Mr. Catapat has stumbled into a real-life adventure. You see, he's never read this book. It looks like a love story. That is how Mr. Catapat met Mrs. Catapat. These days, they can be found turning the pages of a new book. But that's another story. Mr. Catapat's adventures. And all good books are adventures. They're wonderful things. In fact, we're going to go find a Saurus. That's right. Find a Saurus by Mark Spurring, illustrated by Alexandra Steele Morgan. Do you have any Sauruses at your houses? No. Oh, that's too bad. Then you really need this book. Because one day, Marty's mom told him all about dinosaurs. Marty decided he wanted to go for a stroll with the Stegosaurus and have a burger and fries with the Brachiosaurus and watch TV with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Sounds like fun, though, doesn't it? But Marty's mom explained that dinosaurs lived a very long time ago. And now she was sorry to say there weren't any left. There must be some dinosaurs somewhere, Marty said. I think they're just good at hiding. The first thing Marty did when he got back home was to look under his bed. That's right. But there was only a silly monster hiding under his bed. Next, Marty tipped the laundry basket, and out tumbled some elves. Yeah. And he found a dodo in the bathroom cabinet and an alien hiding under the table. Up in the attic, he found something or other and a thingamajig, but they weren't the things he was looking for at all. There was a sea monster hiding in a lily pond and a unicorn hiding in the garden shed. A unicorn? That's right. Isn't he beautiful? But then Marty found an enormous footprint. But it didn't belong to a dinosaur. It belonged to a giant. Marty had looked in all the places he could think of, and he hadn't found one single saurus. Then suddenly, he saw something poking out of the toy closet. "Mom, I found the dinosaur!" he cried as he gave the tail a mighty tug. But, oh no, it's only a dragon. Then Marty's mother explained about dinosaurs all over again. She talked and read from book after book until she was sure Marty understood. "I've changed my mind about dinosaurs being good at hiding," Marty said finally. "They're great at it. But one day, I'll find one. I just know I will." And I don't know if you're sitting close enough to see the ass. See, you can actually see them hiding in the picture. Yeah.
At the house,
And there's one over there. Yeah. Another one right there. It's hard to see, but we'll show you up close after the story time. Okay.
I think they're watching us right now.
How many of you, when you were younger, or maybe some of you still have a special stuffed toy friend? You have a special stuffed toy animal? Yeah. I had Clowny when I was young. He was a little purple clown. That's right. Well, this is Louie's goose, and this is his special friend. Louie's Goose by H.M. Ehrlich, illustrated by Emily Bolam. Ever since Louie was a small baby, he spent summer vacations at the beach with his mother, his father, and Rosie, his goose. Yeah. No, it's a stuffed toy. Louie's goose went everywhere. When he fished from the boat dock, Rosie sat by his side. When the tide was low, Louie took Rosie to find clams and oysters in the sandy muck. Rosie came along for French fries and ice cream. Sometimes Rosie went up in the air. Sometimes Rosie stayed on the ground. Oops, he's about to shovel her up with his steam shovel. After a while, Louie's goose began to wear out. When her bill came loose, Louie cried, "She's broken." "Oh, but Mommy can fix it." Louie watched and waited while his mother put the yellow bill back on with snaps. When white stuffing poked out from a hole in Rosie's side, Louie begged, "Please, Mommy, fix her again so she won't be broken." Louie's mother put a patch on Rosie. When Rosie lost one of her webbed feet, Louie cried, "Oh, now she's really broken." "She is only a little broken," said Louie's father. "I'll sew the foot back on with some strong thread." One sunny morning when they were on the beach, Louie left Rosie near the shore and went off to build a sandcastle. A big wave picked up Rosie and tossed her around in the ocean. Then another wave carried Rosie to shore and left her all wet and soggy in the sand. Ugh. Louie carried Rosie to his mother, and he cried, "Fix Rosie! Fix her! Fix her!" "I wish I could fix Rosie," she said, but Mommy's can't always fix things. Maybe you could help her. So Louis hugged Rosie, and he sung to her, "Hush-a-bye, I'll make you cozy. Go to sleep, my little Rosie." He whispered, "I'm sorry you're cold and wet. You need to rest. I'll be back soon." Later, after Louis decided Rosie had been resting long enough, he picked her up and checked her all over. Then he rushed up to the beach toward his mother. "Mommy, Daddy," he shouted, "guess what? Rosie's almost dry. The sun fixed her." "Cozy, Rosie?" asked Louis, and he gave his goose a big hug. Isn't that nice? We all have our special animal friends. Sometimes we have real animal friends, and those are called what?
A chihuahua.
Chihuahua, or a cat, or caterpillar, or they're called pets, aren't they?
How about fish?
Yeah, this is called pets. So we have the story, The Perfect Pet, by Margie Palatini. The pictures were drawn by Bruce Watley. Elizabeth really, really, really wanted a pet. Her parents really, really, really did not. They gave her a plant instead. Mind you, it was a very good-looking plant, as cactus plants go, and it had quite a prickly sense of humor. Elizabeth called it Carolyn, which seemed to suit it just fine. It was absolutely no trouble, and it was a very good listener. Snuggling was a bit of a challenge. However, Elizabeth did manage a quick hug now and then. Elizabeth really, really, really did like the plant, but she still really, really, really wanted a pet. And she had a plan. The element of surprise. There's Mom and Dad. It's very dark. And there she is with the flashlight. "So, how about a horse?" "Huh? What? Said Father. What? Who? What? Said Mother. "I could ride it, give it carrots, lumps of sugar. A horse would be a perfect pet. What do you say?" Father yawned. "Horse is too big." Mother sighed. "Oh, our yard is too small." "Why, it would eat us out of house and home," said Father. "A horse is not a perfect pet, dear," said Mother, going back to sleep. "No, not quite the perfect pet," said Dad sleepily. Scratch the horse. Catch them off guard. There they are. Dad's shaving. Mom's in the shower. "What about a dog?" "Huh? What? Who?" said Father as he stood in front of the mirror shaving. "Who? What? Huh?" said Mother, peeking out from behind the shower curtain, dripping soapy water. "I could take it for walks, teach it tricks, feed it treats, play fetch. A dog would be a perfect pet. What do you think?" Father spit shaving cream. "Dogs bark. They're much too loud." Mother grabbed the towel. "Oh, they jump all over the furniture." "A dog is not quite perfect, Elizabeth," said Father as he shaved. "Not quite perfect," said Mother from the shower. Well, forget Fido. The full stomach. "You know what would hit the spot right about now?" asked Elizabeth. "I'm thinking a cat." "What? Who? Said Father. "Who? What? Huh?" said Mother. "A cat would lick the plates, curl up in my lap, drink leftover milk, and we'd always know what to do with all that extra string. A cat would be such a perfect pet. So how about it?" Father picked up the newspaper. Cats scratch. Mother cleared the table. Cats shed all over. "A cat is definitely not the perfect pet," said Father. "I'm sneezing already," said Mother. Cross off Kitty. Go for broke. "How about a bird, a bunny, a turtle, fish, guinea pig, rat? Any, all, take your pick," said Elizabeth. Her parents looked at each other. "Nope, afraid not. Not quite. Too fishy. Don't even go there." "What's left?" said Elizabeth. Doug. Elizabeth was thinking she would never, ever find the really, really, really perfect pet when, oh, what do you know? She really, really did. In fact, she almost stepped on it. Right there, on her rug, a bug. Elizabeth picked him up. She held him in her hand, looked him in the eyes. He wasn't too big. He most definitely was not too loud. He couldn't jump on the furniture. He didn't scratch, shed, and how much food could he possibly eat? He was the perfect pet. Carolyn the plant agreed. Snug. Doug moved right into a lovely house in the corner of Elizabeth's room. It had everything a bug could possibly want and more, including his very own cactus plant, as Carolyn was only a hop, skip, and jump away. He truly enjoyed sunning himself in her sand. Of course, Elizabeth provided him with enough crumbs to satisfy a growing bug's appetite. As expected, their relationship was a tad different than usual. Doug could not give Elizabeth a pony ride. She could not take him for a walk. He could not scratch a ball or fetch, no matter how many times they practiced. And try as he might, Doug just couldn't get the hang of playing with string.
I think she could take him for a walk.
But he was very helpful with homework. He always knew where to put the decimal points in the periods. And he loved snuggling up with Elizabeth each night for a story. Now, what more could you ask? He was perfect. Unsnugged. With all those crumbs and plenty of sun, Doug grew by leaps and bounds. He was one big, healthy bug. And then some. The only trouble really came one Saturday morning many weeks later. Elizabeth's mother came into her bedroom to get the laundry and, there's a bug in the bed. A bug? Shouted Father, ready to swat. That's Doug, said Elizabeth very protectively. He's my pet. Her parents looked at each other. Pet? Pet, said Elizabeth, just like you wanted. He's not big like a horse. He isn't loud like a dog. He doesn't jump on furniture, scratch, or shed. And he hardly eats a thing. But a bug? Asked Father. A bug, repeated Mother. Doug, said Elizabeth, and he's perfect. One big happy family. Think we should have said yes to the dog? Whispered Father to Mother. Mother shrugged. I don't know. We have much more room on the couch with a bug. Elizabeth smiled and tossed Doug a piece of popcorn. That's right. I think we need another adventure. And this adventure is Roger, the Jolly Pirate by Brett Hellquist. Mr. Hellquist also drew the pictures. Yes, there. Roger was a lousy pirate. He couldn't tell the starboard from the larboard, the windward from the leeward, or the mizzen from the main. He smiled instead of scowling and grinned instead of growling. Are pirates supposed to grin? No, thank you. He always had a yarn to tell or a sea shanty to sing, and he never, ever struck fear in any sailor's heart. His shipmates called him Jolly Roger. They didn't mean it nicely. When there was serious pirating to be done, the other pirates never wanted Jolly Roger around. If they planned to board an enemy vessel, make a pirate prisoner walk the plank, or bury stolen treasure, they always sent Jolly Roger down to the ship's hold. That didn't make Roger very jolly at all. The pirates on Jolly Roger's ship were the terror of the high seas. Merchant ships fled at the sight of them. Sailors surrendered without a fight. There was only one enemy worthy of their scowls. He was known as the Admiral. The Admiral had vowed to bring every pirate to justice, and at last the day came when he and his sailors attacked Roger's ship. Jolly Roger, of course, was sent below. Up above, the battle began. Below, Jolly Roger sat wishing he could think of something, anything, that would make the other pirates like him. Then he had a wonderful idea. He would bake a cake. In the hold, Jolly Roger spotted something that looked like a big iron pot. It's right there. He happily dumped everything he could find into that pot, and he gave it a good stir. And I see flour, I see salt pork, I see fish, I see cider, I see figs, all stirred together in what looks like a big pot. Can you tell what that big pot really is? What is it? What is it? It's a cannon. On deck, the cannons boomed and blazed. The pirates bravely fought the admiral's men from port to starboard, from stern to stem. But the pirates were outnumbered. As the pirate captain watched the admiral stride across the deck with his sword held high, he could see that all was lost. He prepared to surrender. In the dim light of the hold, Jolly Roger found a wick attached to the pot he had chosen, struck a match, and sat back to wait for his cake to bake. He didn't expect what happened next. Nobody did. Boom! Jolly Roger was blown straight through the deck and right into the middle of the battle. He was covered with flour. He was spotted with soot, and he was shrieking in terror. The admiral's men had never seen anything like it. "A ghost!" yelled one. "A skeleton!" screamed another. The admiral himself gave the order, "Abandon ship!" Jolly Roger was sorry about his cake. He tried to explain, but no one would listen. They were all too busy cheering. Look at him. Look at him. Jolly Roger still couldn't tell the starboard from the larboard, the windward from the leeward, the mizzen from the main. But his shipmates didn't care. In fact, they made a special flag in his honor. Soon other pirates began flying that flag. It struck fear in the hearts of sailors across the 7 seas. It was called the Jolly Roger. Another adventure. Let's do one more. We'll do one more. I think we'll do one more. We'll try this one. This is called Lizard's Song. It was by George Shannon. It was illustrated by Jose Orrego and Ariane Dewey. And I'll need your help in just a minute. I'll let you know when I tell the story. This is all about Lizard. Lizard lived in the mountains of the West. He liked it there, lived on a big flat rock. He was so happy living there that he often made up little songs. They were not fancy songs, but they were his songs. Almost every day he would dance about on his rock, singing his song. Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. One day, Bear heard him singing. Now Bear was the kind who, when he saw something he liked, he took it. Bear liked Lizard's song, and he wanted it. He ran up to Lizard's rock. He said, "Lizard, teach me that song. I want it." The Lizard was glad to share his song. "Sit down," he said. "I'll sing it over and over until you know it. Zolly, 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 zolly." Can you sing it with me? Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. Very good. He had to sing it 10 times before Bear could learn it. "I know it now," said Bear, and off he went singing and dancing. Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. He was so busy singing, he didn't see the pond. Quack, 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 quack. The ducks on the pond heard Bear, and they flew right off past his nose. Bear was so startled, he forgot the song. He ran back to Lizard's rock. "Lizard, teach me that song. I forgot." Lizard sang the song over and over. Let's do it one more time. Zolly, 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 rock is my home, rock is my home. Well, after the 12th time, Bear said, I know it now, and off he went. Bear was very proud of his song. He went singing and dancing across the land. Zolly, 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 swish. A rabbit jumped out from its hole and ran right past Bear. Bear chased after it, but the rabbit was faster and the rabbit got away. And so did the song. Bear could not remember a single note, not even Zo. He started back to Lizard's rock. Lizard, said Bear, teach me the song. Bear asked time and time again, but Lizard was asleep. He didn't hear a word. Bear didn't know what to do. He thought. Then he quickly scooped Lizard up in a sack. I'll take Lizard home with me, that's what I'll do. He had Lizard in the sack, but it was a quiet trip home. No song to sing, no dances to do. You sure shouldn't. As he walked along, the sack swung about. And Lizard woke up. No sun, no moon. All he could see was dark. Lizard was scared, so he quietly began to sing his little song. Zolly, 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 zolly. Rock is my home, rock is my... Bear heard him. He stopped, dropped the sack. Lizard, teach me the song. Bear, said Lizard as he crawled out of the sack, my song is about rocks. My song is about me. What about you, Bear? What is your home? Den, answered the bear. Den is my home. Lizard thought and smiled, and he began to sing. Zolly, 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 rock is my home. What is your home? Zolly, 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 rock is my home. What is your home? Bear listened twice, and he began to sing too. Zolly, 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 Den is my home. Den is my home. Zolly, 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 zolly. And they sang and they danced all the way home. Lizard to his rock, excuse me, and Bear to his den. Excuse me. And that's Lizard's... Bear has a rough voice. Thank you all for joining us in the treehouse. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you will check out some of these wonderful books and join us again on Channel 6 and Treehouse Tales. Thank you.